What's up, guys? Matt here, and I'm here with my good friend Rich with Generation Tech. What's up,
Yo,
Rich?
what's up, man? Not much. We got a lot to
Swag.
talk about, though, right?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about CES 2014, which has been going on all week with all new announcements and all new tech stuff. So, yeah, I'm very excited for the show.
But before we get started, how was your week so far?
Pretty quick. I'm really excited for this weekend, coming up days. Um, I'm actually building my desk this weekend
Hopefully,
and
hopefully there's no.
rearranging my
I'm sorry.
room.
Hopefully there's no unknown blizzards coming your way.
Yeah, no. I think we're good. Actually, it's supposed to be like 49 degrees on one day
Oh,
on Sunday.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna probably be sweating. I'll have like fans and AC. I'll go out to the shed and get the AC out, and
Yeah, well, for you, 50 degrees is literally like a heat wave. So,
I'm like,
yeah, I mean, for me, my week has been consisted of waiting for things to come, like my chair and my iMac to be repaired. So it's kind of like I'm so frustrated with these between UPS and Apple. I'm trying to get my home office tour done, and I can't because there's always one thing or another, and it's pissing me off. But hopefully this
and
weekend.
what's funny is that you're planning on releasing your home office tour last week,
Mhm.
and now it looks like it's gonna be going up pretty close to the same date as mine.
Yeah, yeah, because I wanted to wait for my mic to come in, my interface, and my chair. And by that time came my iMac went out for repair and yada yada yada. One thing to led to another. A week later, so it's
Yeah.
whatever though. It's cool. It'll be worth the wait because I think it'll be a pretty epic home office tour. It's been a big upgrade from last year, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it definitely is gonna be
I'm looking
fun.
forward to your desk though. Like
Yeah, I
I
know.
picked it out for you, kind of, and it's kind of like a mini me version of my desk.
Yeah,
And you got the
it's
hutch,
gonna be really cool. Yeah,
you got the hutch and everything. So you went all out. So it's gonna look sick.
yeah. I didn't skimp on anything there. I wanted to get the. I wanted to. Okay, we'll talk about this before we go into CES and everything. So I was planning on going and buying just the desk the next day that I was looking because I've been researching desks for a while now. And they're all pretty expensive. This one was sitting about 270 for just the desk, and the hutch was like 170 on top of that. So it would have came out to like $500, 500 something in total. Actually, probably a little less. But anyway, this desk actually went on sale the day that I went to go buy it. It had an in-store promotion, and it was 199 for the desk and the hutch. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's
Saved a crap ton of
that's a
money.
hell of a deal. Because I remember even before you were gonna buy it, it was on sale, but not that good of a sale. So you really
Yeah.
lucked out there. So
Yeah, it was like $30 off just the desk. It was like 240 instead
yeah,
of 270.
not bad though. So
So
yeah, a lot to look forward to there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your desk and your new room setup and everything all cleaned up. So
yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have dual monitors. I'm getting rid of the laptop screen. I'm actually gonna have a 29 inch and then a computer setup. It will be pretty much like a desktop setup with a laptop.
yeah,
So
because you have the dock and everything. So
yeah, I
it's
got the dock and then I have a little riser which I'm gonna put the monitor on and put the dock and the computer right under there. So I don't even have to look at
yeah,
it.
good
So
good shit as we like to say. So
yeah.
what do you want to start off with then?
All right, we'll just go. We'll start right. We'll start at the bottom and go
Oh,
up, I guess.
you want to throw a little curveball and start at the bottom?
Yeah, we'll go kind of like the. We'll go kind of up the scale
All
here
right, go for it.
because at the end we'll go finish off big. So first we're gonna start off with how GameStop shares actually plummeted quite a like big percentage after Sony announced the PlayStation Now. And why don't you tell them what the PlayStation Now is, Rich?
So I'm sure everyone here knows PlayStation Now. You could stream video games on your PlayStation 4, your PlayStation Vita, and eventually your Sony Bravia if you have one. Now, initial impressions are that it actually streams really well. You know, you can't really tell the difference between streaming and an actual DVD being played on your console. So that's impressive. I mean, for a full like PlayStation 4 type of game to be streaming, and you only need like a 5 megabit
Yep.
connection also. That's impressive,
Yeah, they
dude.
said that was their recommended. So I mean, you can obviously have a little lower than that and probably skim by.
Well, I'm sure it would help to have high. I mean, having a 5 megabit connection would be slow, but
Yeah, I know.
yeah. But
Even for me.
yeah, either way, it's impressive though. Like that whole technology, and I know Microsoft bought a company. I forgot what the name was, for game streaming a while back. Do you remember?
I don't. No, I don't remember. Actually, I didn't even. I'd never heard of this. But what's kind of cool about it that caught my eye is it's not like Tetris or like uh like a really 2D based game where you can just stream like kind of like Xbox Smart Glass for like Windows phones and stuff. Like it's really just the non high graphics game, so it's not like full RPGs or FPS games. But this is actually the full game. They were actually showing. I forgot the game. Okay, I'm having a major
I think it was
brain cramp.
Uncharted.
But yeah, they were showing Uncharted, and then they were showing a bunch of other different games. It was a game like Little Big Planet kind of looking thing. But yeah, they were all really good graphics. And it kind of amazed me that they didn't have a proprietary graphics card in any of the devices except for the Vita. Um, and some, I think actually the new Bravias are coming out with dedicated graphics cards for this.
So we talked about this yesterday. With this coming out, people can just go out and buy a Sony Bravia, and they wouldn't need to really buy a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3 or a Vita. So what do you think about that? Like, are they kind of hurting themselves, or do you think in the long run the game adoption rate will kind of help them?
Well, you still need to have a controller. You still need to buy a DualShock 3 controller, and really, they're not really hurting themselves because you can't get access to it on all computers or all TVs. It has to be a Sony Bravia, a new Sony Bravia, which are pretty expensive. They're not like a cheap TV that you can get for like under $400 for say or whatever. But I still think that I don't think it's going to be as big as a feature as many think right away. But I mean, it could grow, so you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could, but I don't think the graphical capabilities are there because it's stuck with PS3 games right now.
Right, right.
PS3 and prior.
Well,
So
I agree. And I think the big thing is that consoles aren't really sold for much of a profit to begin with. They usually actually take a loss on consoles, especially brand new ones. You know, they just put them out there to get them out there. And they make the real margins back on the games. And I really think that's what they're going for. And you see the whole thing with GameStop. Their shares plummeted because they know the secondary market, being able to sell games, buy them from kids for really gross amounts, like $1 or $2 for some games, and be able to resell it
yeah,
for like 10 times the amount.
13.
You know,
Yeah,
those profits won't be there for them. So I think it's a really good thing because I hate GameStop with a passion. If they went under, you would not see a tear shed from my eye because they are evil. What they do is really prey on kids that like they want to like kind of like you. I don't mean to like to put you under the bus here, but like you wanted the Xbox One, right? And
yeah.
you went out, you actually sold your 360 and any game that you had just to
I
afford
only
it.
had one game.
And you know what? They really have you because where else are you going to go? Someone like you're not going to go to Craigslist or eBay because you're kind of young. You know, you're not going to go meet some random stranger and sell your 360. So they're a really safe haven to sell your games and get money and get a new console. So I just wish they were a little bit more fair with their trade back system. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I basically just traded it in because I wanted it then. I could have waited, but I really wanted it before the holidays, and yeah, I mean, I paid most of it, but I only traded in the system, one game, and then the internal hard drive, which was separate, and I only got like 180 for it, which I mean, I traded in GTA 5 and 320 gigs, so I think they definitely uh, got some cash out of my pockets either way. But they're also Xbox One, not Xbox 360 sales. Oh my God, it turned on. Okay, Xbox 360 sales have actually plummeted. It was like what was it? Like the first week or the last week in December, they sold like a little over 1,000 units
Right.
worldwide.
Hmm.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And the surprising thing is that there hasn't been a stock shortage. You know, they've been
Yeah,
in stock throughout the whole holidays, which is unheard of to begin with. That and PlayStation 4. So I don't know, dude. I think the whole thing when they were first announced with that whole big shit show that they had kind of hurt them. Even though it's a long time ago, it's not that big of a deal. I think some people just have a bad perception with Microsoft at this point, and I think there's a lot to prove here, and I think there's a lot of patches to be fixed for certain
party system.
party systems, stuff like that. We've talked about it to no end, and I think just some people are just generally waiting it out. You know, there's not that killer title like we thought Forza was going to be a killer title.
It's like it's kind of like a screw around game, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no Watchdog, which is like the next gen must have that should have been at launch. So it's really it's not out of the realm of possibility for someone to wait out, you know, a couple of months, wait for a price drop even, you know, wait for a Titanfall or the other big games this year. So
Yeah, a lot of people actually wait out a good couple quarters, so like probably like until like quarter 3 of this year, because they'll want to see like which console like specific games come out. I know like so it'd be like the next Uncharted game. So like say this next Halo that's supposedly coming out this year fails, but the next Uncharted game is just the best. Maybe that'll make people's deciding factor.
yeah, for sure. Like it's all about the first party games, the big AAA titles, and they're just not there yet. And the thing is that most launches don't have those AAA lineups. Like back in the day, Super Nintendo, you had the big Mario game at launch, you know, or
Yeah.
something like that. And they just don't release consoles with these big titles anymore. It's kind of, I guess, you know, the people that are going to buy it at launch are going to buy it at launch no matter what's going to come out. So maybe they want to help their sales later on in the console's life, so they wait on those big titles for later on. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense.
And to be honest, if I were a PS4 fan, I'd be feel really let down because a lot of the big launch titles that were supposed to come out, like first party launch titles, they all were like either they never came out or they've been delayed. So
Yeah. Well, we kind of got off topic quite a bit, so you want to go to the next one?
all right, the next one's kind of a mystery. So it's the Oculus Crystal Cove, which is a brand new. It's a brand new like system, I guess you can call it. And
And it proves on the Oculus Rift, which was announced last year sometime.
yeah, basically it's like an upgraded version of the Rift. So they like used they used like all the things that were bad about the Oculus Rift and put that into another one and called it a different name. Pretty much this one's HD. It has position tracking, so I think that's means by walking around, like you can actually move around the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it has high HD resolution, which the old one only had 360p. Not a lot of people realize that.
So it's like a pretty exponential improvement, not just in terms of quality, but also features like not just being able to just sit in one place and look around in a space. You could actually move and walk in a space. So that's awesome. Because I remember you showed me a video once where this guy was watching like a horror thing through the Oculus Rift. Like he was watching, he was on the couch watching TV and stuff was going on around him, and he couldn't distinguish it was real life or was it actually in the game. And that looks amazing, you know, stuff like that for that Oculus stuff.
And they stated that actually the motion, like the position tracking, it actually reduces the motion sickness. So basically, they made it more realistic movements. It's not so like jerky, you know, like it's not so I don't know electronic feeling. It almost feels like you're actually there because now that's HD. You have all the new materials for it. I'm sure it's better build quality. I'm sure it just is a better device overall. So
well, I think it's still a long ways to go, but it's cool to see the technology's there, and you know
you can buy the developer kit and use it today.
Oh yeah,
if you really
how much?
want to. Yeah, I think it's about $350.
Oh, that's not bad.
but it's the developer kit that's out right now because they just announced the Crystal Cove. Um, it's only 360p, but a lot of people have actually been doing Minecraft with it.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, because there's a mod that actually supports the VR headset,
So
and it's actually really
all you guys in the chat room should be into this Oculus Crystal then, because you guys all love the Minecraft.
yeah. So
So,
very exciting. So you want to go into the next
well, the
one?
Qualcomm TOQ. I don't even know what exactly you say.
Talk.
Talk.
Yeah, I'm just guessing
So
it's a talk.
it's like a smartwatch. It's not really a smartwatch only. It's a full fledged smartphone in a watch, and it's huge,
Yeah.
it's bulky. I'm sure you guys have seen it all over the place. What do you think about that? I mean, not just having a phone and then a smartwatch connected to it, like via Bluetooth or whatever, but just having the whole shebang on your wrist. Um,
Well, I don't know how great it would be like for making calls. I mean, it could be useful maybe if I didn't really check it out like the externals or specs of it. I just kind of watched videos of people like using it and looking at it, and I didn't notice if there was a 3.5 millimeter port. But I mean, if it was an if it is an actual phone, I think it'd be cool to actually have like a little headset or maybe even a Bluetooth headset. I mean, that's an obvious thing that you could use. I think that'd actually be kind of cool. I'd feel like James Bond.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I To me, it looks a little too much. I'd rather have the separate devices, have just a regular phone and a smartwatch. You know, it makes it awkward. Like, again, you have a smaller screen to begin with. You know, you don't have
Mhm.
your 6-inch screen or even your 4.5-inch screen if you're an iPhone person. But you know, it's just too much into one device. And what if you don't feel like wearing a watch one day? You know, you want to, I don't know, you gotta like have your watch on you all the time to use your phone.
Mhm.
It just doesn't seem
Yeah,
very practical to me.
I mean, it's a good idea. I think it's kind of a thing that's cool. I mean, it's not something that I think would use every single day. Because I think it looks a little obnoxious. It's a pretty big faced watch. I mean, you can compare it with probably a nice sized G Shock if you're familiar with those. Those are pretty big watches, and yeah, that thing is a full touchscreen LED screen. I think it would be kind of obnoxious, but I think they have a pretty interesting idea. So
Well, to me, I don't think it's going to take off at all. So it could be a possible flop.
yeah,
Actually,
Flava 24
not a possible. I really do think it's going to flop, but I don't know.
kind of be like a Facebook phone type thing.
Maybe not that bad. I don't think anything can beat Facebook phone. It's just really, um, I don't see a purpose for it at this point. I'm sure there are people that will buy it, that will love it, but I don't know. Qualcomm also just like,
They're making processors. They're
yeah,
not really into making external
they
parts. They're
usually
all in.
yeah they
I
usually
mean, I'm sure it'll perform pretty good.
I'm sure, especially since it's a
It,
small screen, it's not going to require a lot of power behind it.
well, talk to the Galaxy Gear about that.
Well,
Seeing that was pretty bad.
yeah,
That was like if they had the Samsung build with Qualcomm internals,
yeah.
maybe.
Well,
But yeah.
other than that, what about Steam
Uh,
boxes? What did you see all those Steam boxes that were announced?
I checked out a couple of them because you told me about them, and they look all right. Uh, Pretty much. There's two of the bigger ones that came out, right? There was Valve,
Not
which
Valve. There
at least
were
they're
iBuyPower,
I buy
Alienware,
power. Yeah, sorry.
CyberPower. I think there was like 13 different Steam boxes, and they ranged from different prices. They started off about like 400, 500, and there were ones that were like over $1,000.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty much just a PC that you don't have to worry about OS. It's just gonna run solely Steam, Big View, which is like a TV view type thing. The only thing that I would worry about these is functionality after a few years. I mean, PC parts are upgrading now more than ever. Like you can get so much power out of the graphics cards that come out this year, even the ones that came out last year, like not even a year old yet. And I feel like with everything upgrading so quickly, I think they'll fall behind really abruptly. Like say 5 years from now, they'll be pretty much useless with the game and graphic capabilities that we're going into. So
Well,
I don't know.
I agree, but I think it's even worse than you're even stating it. Because like think of it this way: a console has a lifespan of like what 7, 8 years maybe,
Yeah,
and you know what you're getting when you buy a game. You know it's going to look a certain way. You watch videos online; it's going to look exactly like that. And when you're playing online, everyone has the exact same experience, right? So all looks the
yeah,
same, all performs the same. Now on the PC side of things, your mileage varies, even with the exact same specs. Let's say one person has better cooling than you, it's going to perform differently. You're going to get different frames per second, and it's going to be the exact same thing with these Steam boxes. Like, let's say you buy one that's $500, right? It'll run things at max now, but a couple months down the line, when you buy a new game, the new Call of Duty, it might not run at max settings, and you're not on an
yeah.
even playing field. And they're really trying to get people into like the console experience, but it's not going to perform that's the same way, and the other thing is you can't I don't know how it is about upgrading these things, like if you were to build your own PC, you can change the graphics cards, you could change upgrade the RAM. With these things, they're specifically made in a little box or whatever, and who knows, the proprietary parts, maybe proprietary motherboard.
It could end up like a gaming console, like an Xbox. You can't really go in and change out the graphics card. I mean, there is actual graphics cards that you can see in there. Like you can easily open up an Xbox and notice that okay, that's the graphics card, but it's all specific. I mean, if you change that out to a because they all use AMD internals for the PS4 and the Xbox One. If you upgraded the AMD card in that, I don't think it would work. I don't think it uses PCI Express or anything like that. It's all proprietary stuff for consoles. So I think pretty much with these, it's set in stone with your specs.
Right. And so why would someone go for a Steam box rather than build their own PC? That way you know exactly what you're getting in there. You could upgrade it over time. And it's honestly, it's not that much more expensive than these Steam boxes are. Some of these Steam boxes are literally over $1,000, close to $2,000, depending how it's spec'd. Now, I don't know. It to me, I rather just build a computer, being able to, customize it, tinker with that, because that's fun. It's fun to build a computer. I understand not everyone knows how to build one, but if they're going to go to iBuyPower and get a Steam box, why not just go to iBuyPower and get a computer?
PC for the same
Right,
price.
exactly.
And with the PC, you have an OS which you can play Steam on and play video games, but you can also browse the web, edit videos, play all kinds of games that aren't in Steam. Because I mean, not every game is in Steam. I know how many people think that all games are in Steam, but they're not. They don't carry everything. But yeah. And what's funny is that Steam boxes are actually they said this. They said that they're intended for current Steam users on the PC. They're not meant for us console gamers. They want to move PC gamers into these Steam boxes. So I don't see that happening.
That's a tough sell. Now, if you want to tell me maybe they'll persuade console users to get into the PC realm, maybe, because people are used to not, tinkering with computers, and they just want something that works. But like someone that's used to building their own computers, having a full-fledged gaming rig, they're not going to want a dumbed down box. I mean, I understand you could bring it into your living room, which is a huge plus, but
Go with the Alienware X51. You can upgrade that i7s and everything, and it's still the same size as a Xbox One.
but like people that are really hardcore PC gamers, they love sitting at their desk. They have the monitor like 2 feet away from them, not even a foot away from them. They have the keyboard and mouse, and that's what they want. They don't want that little Steam box controller, whatever they're calling it. I
Yeah,
could be wrong. Maybe it's awesome. Maybe it's on par with the keyboard and mouse, but I can't see that happening. Can you?
no, I I don't know. I think they'll work for some people, but I don't think for a lot of people they'll be like the number one choice for gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I really have to try it to get a understanding, because it has two trackpads, I think, sort of round trackpad type of things. And I don't know. I really want to be hands on with this thing before I pass judgment, because it could be a really good thing or it could be a bust.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but when I use Steam, I like to have the PC experience, and I don't know. I personally rather have a console and a PC than a console that only runs Steam. So
Because I feel like if they're going after the Steam people, the people that are already using their service, why would they want like a second place to play their games? Because they already have a gaming rig. They're gonna buy another
yeah,
box. Why wouldn't they just buy an Xbox One that does different games? You know, not every single Xbox One game is on the PC.
yeah,
And then they get the whole multimedia feature out of it too. So I don't know. For me, the Steam box is a really tough sell. I like how it looks. I like what they're trying to do with it. It's a good idea, but in reality, I don't know. It might be really hard sell.
hmm yeah, pretty much. As I said before, it's really depends on who's buying it.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I
it's really up to you if you want it or you don't.
obviously, but like I think both segments, the people and the hardcore PC gamers, they're both. It's trying to be in the middle, but I think both are so used to what they have that there's really no place in the middle for something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a ton of people that want their gaming setup on their TV, because that's really what it is. It's all about is having the PC gaming experience on your TV in your living room. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a whole ton of people that are willing to do that. So
I'm not one of those people.
I wouldn't be either. I mean, if I'm gonna sit on my TV, I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation 4. That's all I need.
Yep.
You know, and I don't need something that's going to be obsolete after 2 years and not run something at max settings. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't justify that. But I think we ranted enough about that.
Yep. So I'll let you introduce the next one. Start from the top of
All
that.
right, so we got the Razer Naboo, which is a smartwatch by Razer, and it's not really a smartwatch though. It's kind of like a Fitbit mixed with like a Pebble watch.
And then mixed with like a Galaxy Gear.
Yeah, but it has like a monochrome LED, was it OLED rather, OLED screen, and on
Yeah.
one side it tells you what kind of notifications you get, and the other side it shows you the details, like a phone number, who's texting you, stuff like that. Now,
Yep.
this looks awesome. It's very simple. It's not gonna be, it's not gonna beat out.
Expensive.
It's not gonna be expensive. It's not gonna beat out a Galaxy Gear in terms of functionality. It's not gonna beat out an iWatch most likely. But for people that just want a simple notification system on their wrist, this is perfect. I mean, it's going to be under $100, right?
Yep. They said it's definitely going to be under $100. Rich and I actually both applied to the development like beta, and if we do that, we actually get a price of $50 for it. So I think we're both planning on getting this.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And you know what? I'm still going to get the iWatch when it comes out, but I think this is the perfect placeholder. It's not too much money. It's not dropping a whole.
Sleek.
It's sleek looking, like that white with the black looks sick. I'm all over that one. But
Yeah.
it's not big and bulky at all, and it has a 7-day battery life because it doesn't have too much going on. So
Yep. I'll go into a bit more detail, I guess, on the specs and like how it works. So pretty much, if you know Razer, this is actually their first like wearable tech of any kind. So I think they announced something great, and it's actually it might win the best of CES. Actually, it's being voted for it, and it's actually okay. So it's a wristband, and it has two screens. It has a 32 by 32 pixel screen, which just shows the notification. And they call this a privacy screen, right? Or a privacy like screens, I should say. So the top one only shows the little notification. So it'll show a bird if you get a tweet, or it'll show a phone if you missed a phone call or are getting called. And if you flip your wrist over, you have the private screen, which will show you all the details of what's happening. So it could show you the tweet, could show you the number that's calling. It could show you a notification that you set for yourself. Really, quite a bit of uses, and it's pretty much like it's endless with the uses that it can have because you can actually set up gestures, which I was talking with Rich about. Maybe you want to go into that, Rich?
Well, yeah, there's the other thing. I don't remember reading about the gestures actually, but I remember seeing the social aspect of it. Like if someone else has one of these bands and they're next to you, like it apparently it's good for the dating scene. I don't know how many
Yeah,
females are actually be wearing one of these, but apparently if you go to a bar, it'll match up your interests and it'll like let you know, oh, that's a perfect match for you. So I don't know.
yeah, and yeah,
Like it's funny because in their ads they're showing businessmen wearing it, like businessmen in full suits in a meeting, like a board meeting or something, and they're shaking hands and they're passing along their business information across, because that's another thing you could do. You could pass along your phone number and all your, like a business card type of thing.
yeah. You can even set it up with because it's paired on an iOS device or an Android
Which
device,
is
so it's really
huge.
yeah, that's awesome for like you and myself since we can both use it.
Mhm.
And you can actually set it up so it can change information, like exchange information with any social site with gestures. You can even make it so, say someone's calling you and you're doing something important. If you shake your hand or something, it will actually put like hang up on the call, let them know that you're busy or whatever your message says. And yeah, it's really cool. They actually used an example for what is it? Uh, what's the site that we were always talking about for business? Can't think of
LinkedIn.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
LinkedIn. If you shake hands for an example that they used, you can follow each other on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
that was kind of
See, that's awesome, dude. Like it's such a simple device. It has a very simple a screen on it, screens, I guess you want to call them. But like the functionality is awesome. And apparently there's going to be apps for these things. Like I don't know.
yeah,
It just seems for the amount, for the money, for the simplicity, it's got a lot going for it. And I really am looking forward to this. It's going to come out the first quarter of 2014, so it's like right around the
yeah,
corner. The latest it'll be is April. So,
yeah. And it comes in four colors. It comes in black on black, white base with the black screens. Comes with a black and green and a black and orange. And I think they all look pretty cool. I think I'm really interested in either the black on black or the black and white.
yeah, me
So
too. Because the black and black obviously just looks really sick, but the white with the black, you know me, white with black.
yeah.
I have a thing for that color combination recently. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I think it's, like I said, a perfect placeholder for the iWatch or whatever the new Galaxy Gear, whatever the hell else is going to be coming out. So I will be all over that. I'm really looking forward to it. But other than that, what's that other big thing from Razer?
All right, so the final thing that we have on the at the show notes anyway is Razer's new project Christine. So this thing is insane. The concept is just crazy amazing, and it's the first one to actually come out with this. I've been talking about it for cell phones in specific, but they kind of just took that idea and made it their own, like their own style for PC. So pretty much, it's a big tower, and it actually I was looking at it today, Rich, and it actually has liquid cooling in that long vertical part,
Yeah.
and that goes around the motherboard. The motherboard is in that long vertical part,
Oh wow.
and so you can put in all these little slots I think there's 8 or 9 of them, and you can interchange all these parts. You can change in the PSU, graphics cards, CPUs, and the CPU and RAM is actually one unit. You can upgrade the RAM to the side, and then there's like power and like fan controls, and you can actually dual boot into multiple OSs right from this little touchscreen panel that they had at the CES version of the kit. So I'm really excited about this. What do you think about it, Rich?
I think it looks awesome. I mean, it's not gonna win over the hardcore, PC builders and stuff like that, because they want to be able to customize everything themselves. But for the people that that want a little bit more of a confined space, like they're more kind of like not so much Apple where you're in their ecosystem, but like you still have a roadway, so to speak. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like there's a given thing, and you could upgrade it with little parts, and that's it. And I don't know. It looks awesome. The whole thing where you can interchange parts. And what about the subscription thing? You were telling me.
Yes. Yeah, we'll get into that now. So people want to have who have the money, I guess, want to have the latest and greatest products all the time, right? And like say a new graphics card comes out tomorrow and you have the old one today and you want to upgrade that as soon as that comes out so you have the best performance that you can really manage. Well, Razer has the subscription service. It's pretty much like Netflix and well, not really even Netflix. I don't know how you call it. It's like Loot Crate, I
Yeah,
guess.
if anything, it's like Loot Crate.
Yeah, and they ship you a new card, a new like slot for your PC, and it will be the next hardware, like the newest hardware upgrade that they have. And you can pay, I think it will probably be yearly, I'm sure. And they'll send you the greatest parts that they can get to you as soon as they come out. So I mean, if you have the money on top of buying the PC, that's a really cool option. I thought that's just kind of unique.
Yeah, like I said, this is perfect for the people that want the latest and greatest, but don't want to tinker with their building the computers or going out and buying and doing the research. So like the subscription thing is perfect. They kind of hand fed what parts are put in the thing, but they're still on top of the game. And any real gamer, PC gamer, wants to always be on the top of the totem pole. And it's tough in PC gaming because like there's always shit coming out, and especially graphics cards, so it's perfect. You just get something in the mail, you plop it in. Most likely you're gonna probably send the old one back, and that's how they subsidize the price maybe a little bit,
Yeah, maybe.
So because I can't imagine a yearly subscription of getting
It'd be like
new
you'd have like a
graphics
collection.
cards, getting new RAM and CPUs. That's gotta be like at least $1,000 for a year.
It looked like these movies behind me. Like you'd have like all Razer parts for your computer. It's like, oh, that was like 10 years ago.
I know, but when you told me about the subscription thing, that is something completely new. I've never heard of something like that, and I'm really interested. I'm not looking forward to it because I'm not going to be into that whole thing. But it's really interesting to see where this actually goes, and if any other like a Dell or an HP actually pick up on this. I don't see Apple ever doing something like that, but.
They tried with the Mac Pro as much as Apple will go out of the box for. They went with the Mac Pro. So
yeah, but
I mean that's pretty customizable pretty easily, but it still is not as modular as this.
right. I mean, it turns out you could actually change the CPU in this Mac Pro, so you can change pretty much everything in this thing except for the motherboard, obviously. But you're still confined to what you can put in it. I don't think you can put in any CPU or any graphics card. So,
Yeah.
And I'm sure with this Project Christine thing is the exact same thing. You have to buy what they allow you to get, most likely. I don't think you're going to be able to open a compartment and just swap a graphics card and then, do like that. I don't think that's how it's going to work, right?
No, I think it's gonna be. You're gonna have to buy it through them. So
Right.
It might be a little more expensive that way, but I mean it's pretty much hassle free. And one more thing I wanted to touch on real quick is I mentioned the liquid cooling, and they actually like Rich. You've seen on a space station when like an astronaut or not an astronaut but a space shuttle lands, has that little hatch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it self closes, it self opens,
Right.
to like relieve pressure. They actually have that with the cooling, the CPU cooling, the liquid cooling. So you plug in the card, and as soon as the card fits in together, the hatches open up and the liquid starts going through the card.
Oh wow!
But as soon as you pull it out, there's no spill. There's nothing like that. As soon as you pull it out, that's how like easy it is.
That's sick. I would get it just for that. That's an awesome feature.
Yeah, yeah. It's really cool, and they have all these cool connections. It's like looks like square connections. And I think it's like an ultimate USB type idea. So like any single connection that they need can go into that, because you can switch out the CPU and the GPUs and the PSU to like any part of the computer. So I think that they made this universal plug for each part.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
That again, that looks awesome. I really like where Razer is going, because Razer usually is just like an accessories company, or they keyboard and mice and headphones, gaming accessories, but now they're making actual hardware. They started with the
Razor,
laptops, the Razer,
the Blade series.
right, and those are pretty good. They're actually on par with like MacBook Pros and MacBook Airs in terms of thickness, or rather thinness.
Yeah,
And
and they still have all the performance that gamers want. So
yeah, and now they're making wearable tech, and then this modular PC desktop thing. It's really interesting where they're going. I'm looking for, like, they could be a big player in the tech world in terms of hardware like that. You know?
Yeah, if they keep going with all this new hardware and electronics, 'cause before they're just peripherals. They're keyboards and mice, as you said, and now they're getting into the actual physical tech with all the like their own branding on it instead of going through another company to endorse their products or whatever.
Yeah, like Apple always says, you know, if you want to make the good software, you got to make the hardware yourself. And they don't make software, but, like, you know, they have the accessories for the big gaming rigs. Why not just build the gaming rigs all together, you know?
Yeah, they do make their own software, though. They make a bunch of software that you can actually download on their site. I have the audio driver from them. It's like $20. I got it for cheaper than that because at the time they had a donation type thing. And you can really mess around with it, and it makes your audio sound way better.
I remember you telling me that you could adjust the EQ settings. But, you know, like I said, I'm really looking forward to what Razer has ahead, especially this Naboo. This Naboo thing, I'm all over it, you know. And when I say I'm all over something, I am definitely going to get it. So, and I'm sure you will. It's not that expensive, so at least it doesn't seem
and
like
if I get accepted to that beta thing, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's a long shot, though. But what did you write for the reason you wanted to be in the developer thing?
I basically said that I was gonna beta test it and do videos on it and stuff like that. So
yeah, I said I was gonna make an app for Xbox and PS4 notifications. I don't.
Yeah, you just talked to your ass.
Yeah, I don't see that ever happening, obviously. But, you know, hey, whatever gets me in, it gets me in. They get my $50. I get the Naboo ahead of time. We're all happy, aren't we?
Yeah, and the Naboo line, because they go by they go like a theme, because like there's the Death Adder and the Orochi or whatever it is, and they actually go by like different random themes. Like one's like deadly sea animals, like one of their lines of products, like the mice I think are deadly sea animals, and this one's actually Greek gods. So
yeah, they have interesting names for their lines, by the way.
I like it. It's not like plain, like the Dell Pavilion HP 1451.
Yeah, that always pisses me off when they have just like random letters and number combinations. At least have a name for your thing. But hey, whatever. And one other thing, I think we just want to talk about the last thing about CES. The real big thing that kind of led off everything with the TVs. I mean, let's just talk about that real quick. So we kind of alluded to early on that 4K and curved screens were going to be a big thing this year, and
they definitely were.
Right on cue, the first thing Samsung shows off is a freaking huge ass curved screen that it can be either flat or it can actually turn into a curved screen with the press of a button. Now, that looks cool, but like, what do you think? What are your opinions on curved screens? Do you think it's actually something that could be useful, or is it just like a fad like 3D was?
I think it's a fad. To be honest, I think that this TV is a gimmick. I mean, how often are you gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, I feel like I want to watch my movie curved, so it looks like even worse." So yeah. So now I'm gonna hit this button. Now this really big motor's gonna be like, and then some guy's luck, he'll like if it's like manually adjustable, so you can like move it forward or backwards, like more curved or less curved. Some guy's luck, he'll like snap something in the TV and he'll be screwed or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's a gimmick.
I agree. I don't know, because people that have seen these things at CES are saying they don't really see that immersiveness that they're claiming it's going to be. Again, it's one of those things I'm going to have to really see in person to make judgment. But I don't think it's going to make a big difference. The other thing is, did you see that thing with Michael Bay, that little fail?
Oh, when he walked off the stage,
Right.
I didn't see what happened. I heard about it.
So he was actually supposed to be talking about these curved screens at a Samsung announcement, and apparently the prompter wasn't working, so he didn't know what to say. And the guy that was head of Samsung, I forget his name, he was asking, just wing it. So Michael, what do you think about these curved screens? What do you think is going to add to your films? And he didn't know what to say, because you know what? It probably really is a gimmick. He probably thinks it's a bunch of BS. And since he didn't have a teleprompter in front of him to tell him what to say, he just walked off stage. And that's all you need to know about these curved screens. Is Michael Bay, I mean, not to say he's the end-all be-all to tell you what to think, but
he is a good director. He doesn't see a use for it.
Exactly. If he's gonna actually, like, what's his name, James Cameron, he really believed in 3D, and he made these 3D movies, and for the most part,
Avatar 3D was like the best 3D movie that I've watched yet.
Right.
And it was actually one of the best like animated movies, like 90% animation.
CG, yeah.
So,
and he believes in it. He actually used it. I don't think Michael Bay really believes in these curved screens. So, again,
the coolest thing that I could see with a curved screen is a 360-degree screen. That'd be immersive as heck.
Oh.
Like, imagine going to the movies, going in your own chair, and having your chair like move with the people walking, and that'd be sick.
Yeah, I think that's a bit much, though.
I mean, if you want to go gimmicky, why not go all out?
Why not? Exactly. Why not?
Not have something so your screen doesn't just bend. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, and then the 4K stuff. I mean, it's amazing. Like these screens are really coming down in price. There's actually a 27-inch, I want to say 28-inch Dell monitor that's on sale for $700, 4K. Now, Dell is not. It's no Seiko, where Seiko's like you never heard of them. Dell's a name brand. They have a monitor reasonably priced. So it's really interesting to see all these prices just sky dropping rather. And
yeah, because 2 years ago we were looking at one for $16,000.
Yeah, so
that was horrible.
I really think this year, by the tail end, like around Black Friday, you're gonna see 4K TVs reasonably priced. I mean,
not like cheap,
yeah,
but still under 1,000.
I don't even think maybe under 2,000. Because
for what size though? Like a 60
like a
or
40?
50?
Maybe like
40. Yeah, I can see over 1,500 probably.
Yeah, maybe like 1,800. Because 2,000 is really that barrier where it's like for a TV, anything over 2,000 is really like either high end or like a something brand, not even overpriced. Just like it's like their top tier TVs. Like the one I have in the home theater, that was the highest level that they had. It was a C9000. Now, that was their flagship TV, and that was $2,500. So that's about the price I'm thinking about. Maybe like $1,800 for a 40-inch 4K TV.
And 50 and 60, it's going to be over
$2,000. Yeah, which it's not that bad, and
But I mean, now you can get a nice Samsung for $800.
Yeah, 1080 obviously.
1080. I mean, but seriously, nothing's in 4K, even in 1080.
That's the other problem. But you know what? There were announcements of them I don't remember who, but there were plans to stream 4K over some services. So
yeah, and then comes in the problem that internet speeds and current average internet speeds aren't going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to figure if they're gonna make like I don't know. I don't want to say iTunes, but like a Netflix, where they're going to stream 4K over it. I've got to imagine they're going to optimize it enough where the average internet can handle it. They're not going to only have it so that people over 550 megabits down are being able to do it. So, it's that tough line where you don't want to optimize it too much where it doesn't look like 4K, but you want to be able to stream it reasonable. So.
I mean, I wouldn't mind watching 4K on my Blu-ray player because I'm a big movie person. I like watching movies, as you can tell behind me. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool, like down the line, to have a huge 4K TV watch that on surround sound. I don't know.
Down the line.
Bring it. I mean, you right now you can go and buy an IMAX home theater setup for like $300,000, but
You want to
why? Why
you want
that?
to split up our savings and get that then?
No.
We could put it in like Boston or something in between our two houses. We just gotta drive a couple hours.
Drive like 4 hours a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go watch a movie. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's always dreaming. But anyway, was there anything else at CES that kind of took your eye?
Not really. Not too much. I mean, there's been a lot of these things that we talked about really engulfed all the news and everything. So
Yeah, a lot of tablets, a lot of Android stuff that
all that
there are a
basic
dime a
stuff.
dozen. I mean, I really can't keep track of all these things, all these tablets and phones, and I don't know. That's why I
Yep.
like Apple, where they have one or two phones a year. Now it's two phones, kind of, and that's it. Then like
Mhm.
Android's a million, whatever. But I think the next big thing is the Galaxy S5, which actually, not to go off topic a little bit, but there was an announcement that Samsung did say that they're gonna really bring it back and like do a whole new refresh on this S5. So I'm really interested to see what they're doing with this thing, because you got to think after the S3 and the S4, they're kind of similar in design. They have to do something really out there to get people's attentions. You know?
I think they're gonna go with build quality. So I think they might have listened to people saying that because their stuff is pretty cheap feeling.
Oh.
Their S4 especially
Oh, dude,
was very cheap feeling. The S3 is not too bad, but the S4
my Note
is
3
bad.
feels like crap. I mean, it's all plastic. Sure, it has the fake leather back, but it's plastic. It feels like crap.
Yeah.
That's never good quality has never been Samsung's MO, and I don't see that changing. I think it's going to be just a unique styling rather than actual materials being used that are impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and their phones aren't really cheap. They're up there with the iPhone, same price
Yeah.
as their flagship phone's gonna be $199 upgrade. It always is, and pretty much if I were to go for an Android device today, if I had to go get a new one, I go with the Nexus 5.
Yeah, that's a sweet
That's
phone.
the most. That's like the most like down to earth Android phone, I guess you could say. Like it's literally just Android. There's no like overlays in the OS or anything like that. It's pure performance. Has really good performance. You can run all the top line apps or anything like that. So, I mean, if I were to go get an Android phone, it definitely would not be a Samsung.
Yeah. So on that note, I think we're gonna end it here. We covered a lot of CES stuff. So, and we have a lot that we showed that were really, really impressive stuff. Razer has a lot going on. So there's a lot to look forward to in this 2014 in terms of tech. And we did not mention Apple once. They have their stuff waiting later in the year. So
Yeah,
there's a lot more.
they don't even attend CES, do they?
No. They've always used to have their Macworld around this time of year, around January. So that they never felt like they needed CES, and rightfully so. They do their own thing. So on that note, this is a great episode. Covered a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff, and yeah. What else you got to say, Matt?
I hope you guys did enjoy, and as always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. For every week, we do this on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. If you guys want to join us for the pre-show, you can come around 7:30. So yeah.
About 7:30, 8 o'clock starting time. So we'll be uploading the condensed version of this probably tomorrow at some point. So if you didn't watch us here on the live stream, all 2.5 hours pre-show and post-show, be sure to watch the condensed version. So you get
Definitely.
you get to the point. You know exactly what we're talking about. So again, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks everyone in the chat room. Really appreciate everyone always coming out and showing us some love. That's what she said. No homo, whatever. But until next time, guys. See ya.
Peace.